Basically what it's going to be, right, is just touching on a few points, because I can go on for hours about this sort of stuff, but I'm just going to give a brief overview on some of the key messages. So it's about creating connection between us as parents and the kid, and our kids with the ball, right? And then obviously my favourite term, ball mastery, and how that incorporates into it all, how we hold the key as parents to their development, the child's values and what they like to do, and how we can relate what they like to do to what we want them to do, and some tools you can use at home, and then I'll end it with what our plan is for the season in terms of the teams and everything like that. All right, so the first thing is creating the connection. So would we all agree that the ball is the most important part of the game? Would we agree? Would I be right in saying that? It's the thing that we need to use to score a goal, to make plays, to involve teammates. The ball is the main part of it. So it's important for every player to have a relationship with the ball. So again, like I said, it's ideally at the younger ages. The earlier they can create that connection with the ball, the better it's going to be as they develop, right? So what's the best way to develop a relationship, generally? I'm looking for an answer. Yes, I'm glad people got the right answer. Yeah, spend time, right? In any part of life. If you wanted to build a relationship with something, you need to spend time with it, right? And we can create a lifelong love for the ball, no matter what age or level that they play at, right? And then they can always enjoy the game, no matter what level it is. So I'm 36, I didn't play at a high level at all, but I've always had a value on the ball. So I can go play at any game, whatever, and I can contribute positively to some level because I like to play with the ball. And I'm like a kid now. I see a ball over there and I want to play with it. So if we can foster that in our kids at a young age, then they're going to enjoy it no matter who they're playing against, who they're playing with, what team, it doesn't matter. They'll always love it. And even if they don't score any goals, there's still things that they can do in a game to contribute positively to that game. So obviously my favourite term and my favourite concept is obviously ball mastery. So what is it? It's in the title, right? It's mastering the ball. Right? It's using different movements and part of your foot to manipulate the ball to where you want it to go at any time. Right? So it starts with isolated moves, as we've all seen, right? And we need to do it with as much repetition as possible for them to get it stored in their subconscious so that they can recall it and execute it under pressure in a game. Right? So if they don't have to think about it and they can just quickly do something on a twitch, then that's going to be good. If they have to control it, think about it, most of the time, as we've seen, they're probably going to get tackled. So we need to make it a habit, right? So, because when you go watch a game, juniors, seniors, whatever, what are the best players that stand out? What are they generally doing? That's a question. Yeah?
Standing.
What are they doing with the ball?
Playing with it.
They're playing with the ball. So if you go out and watch a game, there's usually maybe 1, 2 kids that will get the ball and they will dribble. And they'll, oh wow, they're a natural. They're really good. Oh wow, they must be born with it. Chances are that they've been playing with the ball at their feet since they were a little kid. Since they could walk, they'd have a ball at their feet, right? So having the ball, and like last year when I used to make highlights, if someone wasn't carrying the ball, they couldn't make the highlights because just kicking it isn't fun to watch, right? So we want all our kids to have that opportunity to be able to dribble the ball. Right, so the benefits of it, there are millions of benefits. I could just do 2 hours on just benefits of ball mastery, but I'm just going to touch on the 3 important ones to adapt it to our kids. Right, so comfort. The more you perform a specific action, the better and more comfortable you become at it. Right, so they need to do it repetition, so they become comfortable all the time. Coordination. So moving the body and feet in different ways leads to a high level of balance and coordination. You can move all the time and the ball will stay where you want it to be and you're always balanced and leads to more coordination. And the biggest one, because the outcome is we want them to play with confidence. So the more comfortable and coordinated they become, the more confident they will be to try it in a game, because we need them to try it in a game. Without confidence, they won't do it. So it's us as parents. We hold the key to, I'm a parent today, not coach, right? So we hold the key to our child's development. So we can directly affect our children's development in the sport. So young kids, right? The younger they are, the more they want to do it. They want to impress their parents, right? We need to harness their need for our approval, right? How many times have we heard this? Dad, watch this. Dad, watch this. Mum, look what I can do. Mum. Yeah. Yeah, right? But that's them wanting our approval. They want to impress us. So if we can take an active interest in what they're learning and practicing, then they'll want to do it more, and then they'll want to show us how they're progressing, right? And because there's only so much us as coaches can do with 1 hour on a Wednesday, 1 hour on a Friday, and that's it, right? It's not enough to create a habit, and we have a lot of kids we need to make contact with. We don't have the time, right? So who does have the time? Yeah, parents at home. You might not have a lot of time. You've got cooking, cleaning, coming home from work, you're tired, and that, but it only takes a few minutes, right? It can only be, and at the beginning, you might need to outlay some time, but what we want to do is get them to want to do it themselves. So once they can do it themselves, then you've cracked the code, right? So we'll go through a few strategies that I've tried to figure out and develop over the time a bit later on. Right, but first we need to figure out what the child's values are. So adults, kids, everybody has a set of values, a set of priority that they live their life by, right? Even us, something we think about, we spend our money on, we spend our time on, that's our highest value. That's something we are intrinsically motivated to do, right? Kids have the same sort of value system, right? So we need to figure out what is something that they spend their time on voluntarily. So give me an example of something a child will do by themselves without needing any reminding. Give me one. Beatboxing, that's a good one. So what does he do with that?
He watches YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And then he practices beatboxing, shower, cook.
Do you have to tell him to do that?
No.
Yeah.
He's not good.
He'll do it on his own. Yeah. All right, give us another one. Give us another one. There's a very obvious one that I'll give the example of in a minute, but see if anyone else gets it. Think about your own kids and what they'll do on their own without you telling them to. That's the one, all right? That's the one. And obviously, Minecraft, Roblox, they're the biggest ones, right? You give them, so this is something that's happened with me, and I've done an experiment with Milan, right? He loves Minecraft, right? So we give him his iPad, and he'll play it, right, for ages. A couple of weeks later, he comes out, Dad, look what I built. He's built this massive house with a garden and all this sort of stuff. I'm like, Milan, how did you do that? He goes, I just watch YouTube videos, and my friend taught me how to do this and that. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So you didn't need a parent over your shoulder telling you, put a block here, put a block there, do this, do that. He just became resourceful and went and did it himself, right? So then I tried to take it one step further and be like, what if I put myself in his shoes, spent time with him and got into his values, right? He values this game, he loves it, right? So I said, all right, Milan, I'm gonna play with you. I want you to teach me how to play. Right? I've never played it before, don't really know what I'm doing. What do I need to do? Oh, he got super excited. Oh, Dad, all right, so you've got to mine trees, and then you've got to make wooden planks, and then you've got to go into caves and mine ore, and then you need to find obsidian and build a portal, go into the nether and defeat the ender dragon. Cool, thanks Milan. Take me back to the beginning, because that's really confusing. Right, so I said, Milan, what's the first thing I have to do? Right, like shifting the ball between your feet. That's the first thing you have to do in a game to get control over the ball. So he said, Dad, you need to mine a tree. I said, how do I do that? Go to next to the tree, press the button, and your arm will start going like that, and then you can mine the tree. And then from there, he taught me the next thing, and the next thing, right? And so I took it in stages, right? And then he was getting upset with me. He was saying, Dad, you're doing the wrong, that's not the right thing, you're doing the wrong thing. Come over here, do this. I'm like, Milan, how do you feel on a weekend when people are yelling at you, screaming at you, telling you what to do? Right? This is how I feel right now. I'm relating to you, right? So that's how they feel on the sidelines, right? So I implore everybody to try and sit down and play Minecraft, right? Because the other one was when a zombie came up to me and I had no idea what I was doing. I started panicking, pressing all the buttons, and then all of a sudden I'm dead. Milan comes along, pop, pop, zombie's dead. I was like, Milan, how did you do that? He goes, Dad, you were using a pickaxe. I use an iron sword, right? It deals a lot more damage. Right? So anyway, I was using the wrong tool and he was just so composed. So Milan, how did you do it so calmly? Oh, I've done it heaps of times before. There you go. So he practiced it a lot. He got in there, he was composed, he was calm. I was freaking out, and then eventually I was able to kill some zombies. I still haven't reached the Ender Dragon, but at least I was able to play with him. I was able to relate it to him and say, these are the things that I'm trying to teach you in soccer, like you're teaching me in Minecraft. So try it. It's really, it's a good experiment. So here are some of the things that we can do at home, right? Because the biggest thing is for us to start doing these things at home, right? So normally when we go and play with our kids, it's one ball, it's pass to pass, right? But they're not getting enough touches of the ball to do that, right? So 1v1 allows us, as when we're playing against them and we're engaging them, to control the amount of pressure we put on them. So we can go hard on them if we wanted to challenge them more, or we can let them go. We can let them through. Want them to feel like they've achieved something. Okay? Access to balls. So out of sight, out of mind. If everything's packed away and they can't see anything, they're probably not going to use it, right? I know we all like things nice and neat. I know I do. But if there are balls around, whether they're in the house or outside of the house, they will probably want to go and use it, or it might be there that at least it's accessible to them. So having balls around is beneficial. Learn and teach. So get them to learn a move, either what we're doing at training, get them to watch YouTube or anything like that, and then get them to teach you and take an active interest. Oh, Jimmy, Billy, how did you do that? That was really cool. Can you teach me? I want to know how to do that. And then they'll think it's amazing, especially dads. Oh, dad knows everything. I'm going to teach him something. So really ham up on that, and they will want to teach you stuff. And then a little experiment I did, it's borderline bribery, but Milan started to want to get pocket money. So I said, all right, well, there's a list of chores you need to do to get that pocket money. One of them, 10 minutes outside and we play together. And so over time, he started to want to do that. At the beginning, it seems like a chore, but it's only for a few minutes. When afterwards, you'll see, I've got a video now that I'll show you. They start to use their imagination, play their own stuff, and it's a little bit of a kickstart to tell them, like, go and play, kind of thing. You don't have to use that, it's just a little experiment that I did. But I've got a video now, it goes for 3 minutes of me playing with my kids, all right? Full disclosure, I did this 2 days before this, but Romeo was naked the entire time, so I couldn't use it. So this one was filled with tantrums because it was after school, but I cut most of those out. So it does go for 3 minutes, but it will hopefully give you a little example. So ball each.
Do you know who you're talking about? Yeah. Okay, sure. What's up? Outside? Oh, wait, no, we keep going there, yeah? Remember? So outside, inside, is that what you're doing? Yeah. Outside, inside.
And watch her cheer as well. She's always just wanted to kick the ball. Now she's copying her brothers and she tries to get involved.
That's alright. Do you want to go on to the next one? Oh, what's that one called? I can catch that. Oh shit, yeah, what's it? Yeah, you try.
Oh, there's Tanty number one.
You know my favourite one?
Yeah.
And then so I would encourage to learn your own moves. If you really want to accelerate it, they will think it's amazing if you can do things with them that they can do. Dad, I'm going this way. They always want your attention.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right.
So now Romeo's making up his own move. So that's where the imagination comes out. He's taken it on himself to, I want to try this now. So this is where the level we want to get to, of them doing it themselves.
Yeah. Should we do 1v1 first and then we do trick shot? Alright, ready? We're going to do 1v1 first. Right. You want to help Daddy? Alright. Let's do this. Rank's taking it past me. Taking it past me. Oh, he's nuts straight away. No, man. Rank, get out of his face. Get up. Let's try it again.
Anyway, try it again.
No, come here. Oh, nice.
But dribbling, touching the ball all the time.
Why don't you try on the moon? Who does he?
And we got it.
Oh, when you score a goal, then you swap. Okay, right?
Dad, it went like this. Always wanting to let us know what they're doing.
Good job. 2 shots. Then you're going to try a couple of tricks. So don't lose your ball. Shoot first, then go. Oh! Now you're ready. Now you're ready. Oh, that was good. Try to place it.
Had to complete that one.
Yeah, Miller, come on, man. Nah, dude, that was it.
Yeah, so Milan cracked it and then we had to stop. So that was probably about 15 minutes of us just playing, and then, yeah, there were a few tanties in there, but you see the idea where they start to make up their own stuff. They want to beat me. He got so excited that he nuts me and all that sort of stuff. So you can really ham it up and make it as hard or as easy as you want.